Guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I thought I would talk you through possibly my absolute favourite bike. I've had, I don't know how many, probably 10 over the last 10 or so years. It is the Yamaha XT600, and today we're really going to be focusing on the E, which is this model, which is the electric start model. As you can see there, we've got the XT600 43F, which is a kickstart only model, but I'm going to tell you today why I think this is the bike to purchase. I absolutely love them, and I'm going to bore you to death about them. So a quick bit of housekeeping. We have got trading up next week. As you can see, this is the last bike of the trading up series before we go on to my final last £10,000 bike. I'll send you a little picture there on the screen. Not one of you will be able to guess what I have purchased. It's something very different, very odd. Anyway, if you'd like to see that, like and subscribe, because that will be coming next week, and I'll be doing the final reveal of the bike I have purchased from £100, traded it all the way up to £10,000, and you'll get to see what I have purchased for the European trip I will be doing at the start of October. So yes, you have to like and subscribe if you want to see that, guys. Anyway, what we're going to be focusing on is this bike. Not this today. We have talked about this in the past, but I really want to talk to you about the XT600E. So let me give you a bit more of a detailed walk around. Let's get rid of this one, give us a bit of space. So this is the bike I want to talk to you about, which is the XT600E. Obviously the E starts for electric start, the X for cross, and T for trail in the X and T. If you've ever wondered, you probably never have, but there's some boring information for you anyway. This is the 4PT version, so this is one of the last of the XT600s. So yeah, as you can see, I've had quite a few of these, mainly in blue as well. Actually, I really do like them in the blue. As you see, I've just literally purchased this one, so I've not prepped it at all. I've had to remove the little exhaust guard on there as well. They always seem to seize on there, they get rusty. I've removed it. I've actually got another one I'm going to put on there, so I've removed that for the time being. So yes, as you will probably be aware, this here is the original XT600, as many would probably say. So this is the 43F designation model, which is the 1984, which is kickstart only. As I say, I'm not going to concentrate too much on this bike today, but I just want to give you just a quick show, just show you the differences. There's not huge sums of differences when it comes to engine and whatever else. It's just sort of upgrades over the year. But yeah, this is the one I really want to talk to you about. This is a bike I really think is an absolute cracker. And you know what's so strange about it? There is nothing spectacular about this bike whatsoever. I know that's an odd thing to say, but it's more than the sum of its parts, I think it's fair to say. So we haven't got huge amounts of power, so it's 45 horsepower, and it's around about 36, 37 pounds-feet of torque. Seat height, if you've ever wondered, is 855mm, so not too high, and the weight is, it's a wet weight as well, it's around about 156 kilos. So we haven't got huge amounts of power, not that we need it, but you get a 90 mile an hour-ish top speed, and the tank capacity is around about 15 litres, so you can actually get a larger tank. Acerbis do a larger tank, so if you did want to do a bit more travelling before needing fuel, then an Acerbis tank is definitely something you'd probably need. So yeah, you get around about 120 mile range out of this standard tank anyway. So the previous model to this was the 3TB, so there's not huge amounts of differences between them. There's plastic changes, the tacho was updated for this model, so is the front brake, and a slightly larger tank in 1995 as well. The only downside to these bikes, especially for me, is it's not ULEZ compliant, which is a bit of a pain. But as you can see, there's nothing spectacular about this bike whatsoever, and that's what's so odd, why I like them so much. I can't really explain it, but as I say, they are so much fun, and they are incredibly reliable, like ridiculously reliable. There's a few changes you may want to make as well when you buy one of these. As you can see, this one's got the standard exhaust on, and it weighs about 3 tons, and is very restrictive. As you can see, actually, there's supposed to be a little pipe that comes off the end there. It looks like someone's had a go at sort of de-restricting that exhaust themselves, but I actually do have a brand new Arrow Dakar exhaust for one of these. I've actually got a lot of parts for one of these. You can also change the downpipe here for a stainless steel one. CRD was a company that used to do them. I don't think they're no longer about, but you do see them come up now and again. So yeah, stainless steel set of downpipes as well, with an exhaust. Really does. I think it releases around about 5 or 6 horsepower, which doesn't sound like huge amounts, but on a bike like this, it really does make a difference. Do you have to rejet it once you do that? Well, some people do, some people don't. I see a lot of people, to be honest, just get away with not rejetting at all, but maybe best practice to go up a size on the main jet and adjust the fuel screw for a better sort of throttle response anyway. Just want to avoid running lean, to be honest. But to be honest, it's very rare. I know a lot of people who've just put on the exhaust and had no issues at all, so I'm just covering all bases there anyway. But yeah, they're the sort of performance sort of mods you'd want to do to this bike, just to release just that little more oomph, because it really does make a difference. So what are the issues with these bikes? Well, there's not many actually, to be fair. You'll see that you get a little bit of corrosion down here on the frame as well. This is where you really need to look, because even though these are ultra reliable, the build quality isn't incredible. So yeah, around the frame and whatever else, you do start to get a little bit of rust and whatever else, which you really need to treat. That sump guard as well is pretty rubbish. Again, CRD used to do a sump guard that used to cover all that. I've actually got one of those as well. So yeah, that's one thing to look for. Also, on all XT600s, you'll always see you get a little bit of pitting, a little bit of rust coming on the rim of the rear wheel mainly, but the front does go a little bit as well, but that will 90% will clean off anyway. So yeah, you really need to stick on top of that. Same with the swing arm here as well. As you can see, you get a little bit of pitting there, but it's just a little bit of surface, clean off, Hammerite, job done. Hammerite is actually a really good match for the paint for these as well. But yeah, same with the front as well. As you can see, a little bit of pitting there, but not, well, I wouldn't even say it's pitting, it's just a little bit of surface rust there, so that will all clean off. As I say, I've not done anything with this bike at all since I've got it. Well, there you go. Let's just talk about the little bit of sort of rust you get coming through there, which you really need to treat. As again, it's just surface at the moment, so it's fine. So all that will clean off and it will look like new when it's done. So yeah, they're the main things you need to check really with an XT600. The engine's super reliable. Again, I prefer this model because it's an electric start. I know a lot of you diehards will go, oh no, you need the kickstart, that's the real man's one. Trust me, it's a pain in the backside. And I know a lot of you go, oh yeah, well, it needs to be set up well. It's still a pain. It's a big single cylinder motorcycle you're trying to kick over. It is not easy. So yeah, that is something you really do need to bear in mind. This is why I think the XT600E is really the way to go. Also, you can make a few updates. I've also got a Wilbur's rear shock, which makes a big difference, which I am tempted to fit to this bike as well. I've also got a set of custom-made XT600 Supermoto wheels that I've had for about 10 years. So I would be really tempted to sort of turn this into a Supermoto for the road that's easily turned back into something that I can use on the trails as well. So let me know in the comments, guys. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think it's not? Be interested to know what you're thinking. Previous to this bike was the 3TB, as I said before. And as you'll see here, these little sort of plastic here are totally different on the bike. It's got a smaller tank, slightly different tacho. But again, this is a really good point. These are like hen's teeth. You'll see a lot of these missing on XT600s. You'll see them cracked, you'll see them damaged. They are a fortune second hand. You'll see just a lot of them under here, just a little bracket that holds it on, but you'll always see these 9 times out of 10 missing. So trying to find these used, you're going to be paying serious amounts of money for them. I mean, I had the same issue actually on the 84 XT600. You see they're missing here. Well, I was actually fortunate enough to come across a pair of little plastic ones, which were the original for this bike. 2 of them, little small ones, for 170 quid. Which I had to buy. So, and that was finding them. I was lucky to do that, and to be honest, they're probably worth more than that. So there you go. So yeah, make sure these little plastics are on the bike, because if they're not, you're going to be paying through the nose for them. This bike is a great original bike. Nothing has been done to it at all, as I say, apart from the little exhaust modification. It's even got standard indicators, which these indicators are slightly different European ones than what we got into the UK. We got the squarer ones. This bike was actually originally from France. So yeah, it's just, as I say, we got the original Yamaha handguards there as well. It is just a great bike. If you're after a cheap bike, look, let's be honest, some of these are big money, some of them are not. Well, when I say big money, for what they are, you know, they're not cheap, but you can see them now and again from around about £1,000, but it's quite rare nowadays. I think, to be honest, you're looking at more 1800 quid to get you into one. I think I probably sold the best XT600 there was during COVID. This was one of these in blue. Considering these only went up to 2004, this bike was on an 07 plate. It wasn't registered till really late, and it only had 500 miles on. And I actually sold that bike for £5,500. That was when, yeah, COVID prices were going absolutely crazy, and I was able to pick that bike up from, from someone that had had it from new, who just wanted it gone. So yeah, it's yeah, quite. There are a few bargains out there still. I mean, this one I paid £950 for, and I had a courier who was able to deliver it for me because he was delivering some other stuff. He was able to actually deliver it for me for 50 quid, which was excellent. So it owes me £1,000 all in. It has done 23,000 miles. Yeah, it just needs a clean up. It's actually got pretty much a full MOT as well, and it has just been serviced. So I don't need to do the oil, which is also another good point. You'll be looking for ages where you change the oil, which is under here. Yeah, and this is where you can check the oil as well, and then you can drain it here. So yeah, it actually goes into the frame down there. So that's another little good point. But yeah, if anybody wants me to do a service video on one of these, then let me know. I'm always happy to nerd out. But as I say, there's not a lot that goes wrong engine-wise with them, to be honest. But as anything now, it's just age. You know, these bikes, even at their youngest, are 20-odd years old now as well. So yeah, you've got to make sure that, yeah, you checked all your sort of normal bits that you would check on any bike. You know, swing arm bearings, all sorts of bushes, everything. You need to go through it all, you know, even down to the discs. And yeah, I mean, these discs don't look too bad, but again, you've got to remember, this is all, you know, 20 plus years old as well. But again, there's not a lot to go wrong on there. But again, rebuilding the front forks is a good idea. You know, new bushes. I mean, you can get progressive springs for these as well if you want to give it a bit more of a sort of firmer ride, especially if you are thinking about doing a sort of a supermoto conversion, as I am. But again, it'll be an easy turn back to an off-road bike. But also, another reason worth mentioning why I absolutely love these bikes are their reputation for round-the-world ability. People using these bikes to literally go around the world. That's how good they are. So yeah, if you like things that just work and just do what they're supposed to do without any fuss, then this is the only bike you can really have. It is the XT600. Yeah, you can probably hear my voice. I'm a bit passionate about the old XT, and I think you guys probably should be. I think that pretty much covers it. I don't want you guys to fall asleep. This one comes with a rack as well. As you see, I have not cleaned it. All that dirt is what come with the bike. It actually comes with a top box, which I've removed. But as you can see here on the swing arm, you can see a little bit coming through there. So yeah, it's more than the sum of its parts, an XT600, which is why I'm going to take you for a test ride on this bike. I haven't ridden it yet, so yes, any issues, any problems, you will be experiencing them with me. Okay, here we are in all her glory. As I keep stating, this is how I've received her, with the dirt, the grime, the little bits of patina, shall we call it, on there as well. So this weekend I'm going to sort all that out. So she looks pretty much like new, but for today, well, she's had a new front tyre as well, which is nice, isn't it? Isn't it fantastic when you put all your gloves on, have absolutely everything ready to go, and you realise you left your keys somewhere? I'm hoping in my pocket. No, I left my keys indoors. Hold the line, callers. Christ. Take two. Okie doke. Okay, I have warmed her up a little bit. The choke is down here. She's on reserve, so we won't be going too far. I just want to give you a little quick ride out. I will be honest, this exhaust, the standard exhaust, has been played about with, and it sounds like a bubble machine now. It's the worst sounding XT600 I've ever had. But there you go. Well, she fires straight up, which is a good sign, isn't it? She's a smooth, yeah, it's not bad for an XT600. Sounds alright, doesn't she? Right, leave a little bit of choke on. It is pretty warm anyway, I never ride off. Right. Again, it just feels like an old armchair to me, this bike. There is not oodles of power. The front brake isn't too bad actually. Some people moan about them. I don't think they're that bad actually. I always wondered if you could do sort of an R6 like rear brake for the front upgrade on one of these. I have actually got a Supermoto caliper, which I could probably have a bracket made to actually fit this to go with the Supermoto wheels. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, it's been a while since I've ridden one. I'll be honest with you, it has been a while. Let's get the choke off now. It has been a minute, that's for sure. Everything is just so basic. Oh. Is that me? No? Oh, is that the indicators? Oh my word. Who's put lorry sounds on the indicator? I had to look around, I thought I had a lorry behind me. I've never known that on an XT600. Maybe this is something to do with it being a French spec one, but... Or the previous owner probably always left his indicator on. That is odd, actually, but there you go. But as I say, my first time riding this little XT600. She was from Strasbourg, actually, and I will be potentially going back to Strasbourg in a couple of weeks. It was Yamaha Strasbourg. Right, let's give it a bit of beanage. I won't go too much. I want her to warm up a bit more first. But as I said to you previously, there is nothing special and everything special at the same about an XT600. It's very hard to explain until you've had one. I mean, it's a great antidote to bikes that have absolutely all the gizmos and all the gadgets. It really is. It's really great just to have something that's just so basic, so reliable. I'm going to say that now, it's going to break down on me, isn't it? Is he going to look? Is he going to look? Yeah, so yeah, as I say, if you've got something with all the toys and you just want something basic, reliable, you can count on, then an XT600 is definitely something you would definitely like. You can do some green lanes, some trials with it, and... Oh, I think she is quite low on fuel. Hopefully not too low to get me back. I mean, the gearbox actually is pretty good, surprisingly. This is, as I keep saying it, it's a no fuss. Beep, 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 vehicle reversing, vehicle reversing. And she does just throw about lovely as well. And you can just, when you really have to thrash it to get going, which is fun. You know, at an age of 200 horsepower motorcycles, this is massive fun. That's my mate there. Let's go see my mate. He's the friendliest cat in Purley. Alright, I just saw my mate, local cat. He's probably the friendliest cat you'll ever meet. There you go. Cat stops on the XT600. I'm not afraid to admit it, I am an animal lover. Right. Where were we? Yeah, so this bike is dying for an exhaust system. And I think I'm going to have to give it to her. So if you'd like to see me do that, and let this old girl breathe a bit easier, And then, as I say, maybe stick a pair of Supermoto wheels on. They are bolt on, bolt off, so there's no modification I need to do. So when I do want to do a little bit of green laning, I can whack the old ones back on. It does handle surprisingly well, guys. I shouldn't really be singing the praises of these, because I've always been trying to keep the values down on these, because I've always fancied one myself now and again. I always end up buying one, and I can insure it for 80 quid a year as well. You know what? I'm so at home on an XT600. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we're getting low on fuel, so I better take the old girl back, actually. She's popping and spluttering. But yeah, you have to excuse the horrible note of the exhaust there. But what I was thinking was maybe we could do a green laning video on this as well, and I'll show you how good she is on the green lanes. This was the first bike I ever went green laning on, was an XT600. And I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. Come on. A little bit more than I could chew, going up a very, very steep hill. So I went up so high that the front come up, I went flying back, and I whacked my head against a tree. And that was my first green lane experience. Then I was hooked, and then since then I've had all sorts of stuff, KTMs and yeah, everything in between. Vehicle reversing, vehicle reversing. Oh, she's low on fuel. Oh my word, I don't know if we're going to get back. My word, Ben, you should have checked the fuel. I thought I did yesterday. Oh, you know what? I think I did check the fuel, just on the wrong XT. Oops. Oh, okay, I think we're going to get back. If not, at least I can push it this far. Well, that was a short but sweet test ride. That's my neighbour. How you doing? Yes, we're going to get back, guys. We're going to make it. Well, if you like that, guys, please like, subscribe. If you want to see more XT600 content, then please let me know. But yes, we did just get home. It was bogging down and it was a bit of a pain, but there you go. I love XT600, guys. You probably do if you're watching this as well. I can't say people are mad on them, but I certainly am. I'll always have an XT600 about, I'm sure. So like, subscribe, guys. I'll see you in the next one.